right, all right, all right. All right, I see the red is not quite as much as I like, though. 1 second. Let me make some adjustments. The baby was unfortunately helping with the microphone today, and I was afraid that was going to happen. Properties. Way to go. All right, there we go. Much better. Yeah, she wanted to help Dada, and I was like, oh, God, everything's going to be funky. But it's all right. Man, look at Debbie. 4 tickets? Wow, go Debbie. Debbie, you trying to buy, you trying to buy 4 tickets twice? Oh, no, you messed the first one up. Okay. Sound is good. Knucklehead. Yeah, so tonight is the night to throw all your chips in. I'm going to limit Will to one ticket because he's picking on the birds. So, Debbie, I'm glad that you bought 4 so you could kind of, stick one to Will. Picking on the birds, talking about how, wow. Can't believe he said that. Man. Send my wife something to read, and then she starts responding back. It's like, dear, I'm in the middle of chart school. What are you doing? Stop messaging me. All right, so let's just dive right in the markets for today. Overall, interesting day today. 24-hour pip change, I don't really think today are very indicative of the movement that we've had. Bunch of things have kind of hit zones, turned around, moved 40 pips, and then retraced back again. But overall, in the last 24 hours, the pound was probably the biggest mover, but it's only really been pound dollar. As you can see, the pound yen is only up 16 in 24 hours. So not quite as much movement there as we thought. Bunch of the things that we talked about yesterday about, if you guys remember the whole link between the Aussie dollar, the Aussie yen, the euro yen. Again, a lot of these things kind of set up and already went to fruition. But the euro dollar was up about 17. Pound dollar up 80. Again, good day there on that one. The pound is continuing to show strength. Euro pound also showing that same type of strength versus the euro. Again, 45 is good for that one as well. Dollar CAD up 29. And again, that one had a bit more movement. Aussie dollar, totally flat. Dollar Swiss, totally flat at 13. And, dollar yen had minus 58 today. So it wasn't a horrible day for that one as well. As far as the news goes today, news I think was pretty interesting. So it was kind of it wasn't a double whammy because one was good, one was bad, but the unemployment or the employment change data was definitely much lower than what we thought. Again, the forecast was 28 or 2.8. It came in at 2.3. So definitely not as much as they assumed. But at the same time, the manufacturing number came in at 52, which is definitely nice. It's above 50. Showing very, very strong economic expansion again, not contraction. So the fact that things are ramping up is good. The fact that not as many people were hired back on the ADP number could foreshadow what we're going to see tomorrow. We didn't have a huge reaction off of it today. It could have been bad. 10 o'clock this morning, if it would have been negative, could have been bad, but it wasn't. Hold on one sec, guys. So we didn't get the double whammy. FOMC came in. It's like, yeah, whatever it is. And then again, we have trade balance tonight. So looking at where the kind of the news are, or what the news is today, this is kind of a big one right here. And this was 3 hours ago. The U.S. passes sanctions against China in response to Hong Kong. And again, that's the first kind of the hottest news section there, right? It will be the hottest news. Interesting kind of, I don't know, my opinion on this one is it's been like 20 years. I'm surprised that China hasn't already done it. I don't know. Not surprised. But I do think that we've been looking for a reason to put sanctions. I think China's taking, they're taking advantage of it because, again, of everything that's going on. Now would be the time with the pandemic that they could kind of, take some of those rights away and kind of go after them. At the same time, I feel that that's why we were doing it at the same time too, because it's the ability for us to place sanctions where we didn't do with the coronavirus. And you guys remember I was calling for sanctions in like February, right? So it's kind of those things. Everybody's taking advantage of what's happening is really what we see. But then we jump right into the manufacturing. You can see that, again, they are talking about it as well. And then, again, I kind of expect to add 3 million jobs. So, again, we'll see kind of where that goes. Yeah. sanctions are going to be a big deal because it's not so much us putting the sanctions. It'd be more of what do the sanctions actually look like? Does China actually care? Right? I mean, because again, we're still technically in this trade war, right? And now we're going to put sanctions on them. I mean, that does wonders at the negotiation table, right? Um, and at this point, I mean, you can kind of think of it this way too. I mean, there's another scenario that I think you need to look at. So, I mean, if you follow the polls, which I don't really put too much stock into the polls, I didn't believe them last time, and you know, I don't necessarily believe the polls. But they're showing right now that there's going to be a change of president later this year. Is there much benefit to settle? And again, the president is not dumb. He knows if he's losing, he's not going to become president, by based off the polls. And China's not dumb. China's not going to negotiate with him, most likely. Now, I think they'll get a better deal with Trump. But that's just my opinion. I think if the other party comes in, I think that China will have a much harder deal. And of course, everything will be Trump's fault. But so it is interesting. Now that there'll be sanctions, trade talks are going to go down. If there's a change in president, they're going to hold off and test the next guy. Yeah, I think it's interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on. But the one thing that we do know, again, is manufacturing is increasing, and that's pretty important. So, again, much higher than expected, above the 52. I think that's great news for the economy. I guess the biggest thing that we got to watch out for now is wave 2 here, is wave 2 not here? What is wave 2 going to look like? Are we going to be able to stabilize? I still want to know, is COVID-19, if you get it, are you protected forever? Is kind of what I'm wondering. Or is this coming back in 6 months? That's my big question. And a couple different vaccines have already, they're in, testing. So we should have vaccines, I would assume, by the end of the year. It's kind of like, can you make it that far? Can we not make it that far? How many people will have it? Is wave 2 coming? What are we shutting down? And again, September, I'm like, are the kids going back? Are the kids not going back? Right now, it looks like they're not going back, but I don't know. We'll see. We got a survey today, and a couple of surveys says what matters most in the fall, and one of them was being able to go back to work and have a regular schedule. I was like, okay, that doesn't quite have to do with education, but sure. So the school system's covering their butt was pretty funny. All right, going into tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, Thursday, it's basically the last day of the trading week. Obviously, there's some things open. You'll see different. The futures market, you'll see the currencies market stay open, but for the most part, it's just kind of a weird day. You don't have as much volume. Prices can move around. So tomorrow morning is really our last big shot to get some big blockbuster news out of the way. Friday morning, obviously, we won't be doing chart school tomorrow night. Just because with markets closed and everything like that, it's not going to be as much movement. But Friday morning, you can see that we do have the pound and the final services PMI. All right, but tomorrow morning, the average earnings, not that big of a deal. Non-farm employment change is going to be big. They're expecting 3, but today was a $500,000 miss. So curious to see if that will be down at 2.5. Also, the unemployment rate is definitely a big deal. You saw Canada's unemployment rate most recently also come in lower than what was expected. And again, there's less people being hired. So is this going to be up at 15 maybe, or 13 or 14? So yeah. All these things tomorrow look like again, today was great that the manufacturing number is good, but most of these are all based off unemployment and people and jobs. If they're all bad, tomorrow's probably not going to be a great day in the market. It could definitely lead us into a bit of a negative day, and that's just that's what you just got to roll with. Vaccine by the end of the year. What are you drinking? Nothing. There's one of them that just entered phase 3 trials, and it's getting expedited. You take the first shot, no testing on After Effects, going blind after 6 months later. No, they're already testing. There's 3 companies that are already there. One of them's already producing. So when they get the green light, they're like, boom, go. They're already producing it ahead of time, the first one. Yeah. Yeah, so it's weird. This is the first time ever that we've seen companies producing first before final approval. So when it gets its expedited review, it's there ready to go. You don't have to wait. Because normally what happens is you get the review, you get the thing, you get the final approval, and then it takes 6 months to ramp up everything that's associated with it. Because again, you have to get your production facilities certified, your delivery system certified. It's got to be added into the system. Then the middlemen, the PBMs had to be able to get it. So there's a lot of stuff that has to go into the works before drugs actually come to market once they get approved. This is the first time where everything's being approved. So literally they say, bam, it's stamped, it's already shipped. And they're building crazy doses of it too. So yeah, It may make us all our hair fall out in 5 years from now, but hey, that's what could happen, right? It is what it is. Um, Biden's not going to win. I put it this way. I hate to get political on the channel. I don't like Biden. I didn't like him before. I'm part of that 40% of America that thinks he has dementia. I actually personally, my personal belief on him is I don't like a lot of the pictures and the way that he has groped women. I think it's highly inappropriate, and it's not happened one or two or three times, and he's been told about it. And I just think it's hello, 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 hello. That was weird. Ooh, look at that! What a hiccup. I was like, oh god, toss crash, no pile sock stuck. No, no, it was no. Remember I said that my daughter was playing around with the keys. Yeah, she was playing around with the keys. Well, did I tell? I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I have the headset issue. That the one wire is all messed up, but I can't get another one because they're back ordered. Well, when I went to take the headset off and I heard the click, I was like, oh god, I just shorted the headset. So it couldn't find any sound input devices. So the streaming software was like, no, no, stop. Yeah, no, it happens. No, actually, so I didn't lose the stream. Everything should be back up. I should be able to see it moving, which it looks like it is. Yeah, I can see things moving again. So yeah, the cancel culture at work. You're back. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, no, it's a sound short. I thought it actually shorted the entire PC out because everything was frozen. But like I said, it was the sound card trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. I don't use the headset for this sound anymore. I actually have a different mic that kind of streams in. But I had the headset on, and as soon as I took it off, it did the popping short noise. So yeah, I'm excited that manufacturing is restarting because I need a new headset, and they're all sold out. Ah, it's so frustrating when you go to the website and they're like, nope, sold out. I'm like, so when are they coming back? We don't know. Sometime, hopefully. But anyway, I don't know where it got cut off, but yeah. So, my vote is that magically the third party comes out with a third candidate that just happens to be like a genius that we all love. I'm kind of pulling for like Elon Musk. Like I really want Elon Musk to be the third party candidate. If he does, we will definitely have a space force within the next 4 years. Trump, I think, is teasing us with the space force and the flags. Elon Musk will get us a space force, and I'm signing up. I'm on board. Sign me up. Put me in, coach. Which headset am I trying to get? Right now, I have a Razer Kraken right now, and it's great headset. It's been a great headset. I've had it for 2 years, and I basically wear it every single day for multiple hours on time. I use it a lot, so I've beat the heck out of it. I'm trying to get now a Logitech. What is it? A Logitech GX Pro, I think, or is that what it's called? Yeah, Pro X gaming headset with Blue Voice. And yeah, it's still sold out. I was like, let me go over there right now. Yeah, it just makes it a little bit better. No, I don't think Mark Cuban. I don't think I'd vote for Mark Cuban. Definitely not Dwayne Johnson. I dislike him. I am not a fan of his. I think the way that he tried to come in there and mess up, Fast and Furious, I'm just not a big fan of his. He has some funny movies. He can be a funny guy. Just don't like him. I'm just not a big fan. Of celebrities, I would say if I had to pick a celebrity for president, I would have to say, I think I'd have to say like Kevin Hart. I know he's a comedian, and he's got like, one kind of gimmick that he does. But recently I've listened to Kevin Hart talk a few times, like when all the stuff started happening with, with like the police violence and stuff, he had a really great message that really really kind of sung true with me, talking about how this is on the media. This whole thing is on the media. Hold on one sec, guys. Birds are going crazy today. He made a statement about the media, which I was like dead on. Like if I had to write a statement about what I think needed to change, I think it's the media. As you guys know, like I think Facebook has really made hate much, much worse than it needs to be. I think the news is really declining what its value is. But I feel like the media is always fast. They want to be first. They don't care if they're right anymore. Where news used to have integrity. Like when I was growing up, news was 100% true. You never heard of a news source talking about, oh, I'm sorry, we messed that one up. Like you didn't hear about errors in the news. You took news for what it was worth. Now depending on the channel, it's more for entertainment value, right? It's like when I was a kid growing up, right? You watch the WWF and you're like, yeah, this wrestling is real, right? But it wasn't real. It was fake. Now, I kind of feel it's the same way that, depending on what station you're listening to, the news will be kind of tilted or shifted towards the type of person or, the type of followers that it has. I don't feel that it's 100% unbiased, 100% fact-check news anymore. But Kevin Hart basically was like, you don't hear about all the good things that happen. You only hear about bad. So I would have to say, if I had to pick a celebrity, it would not be The Rock. It would be definitely Kevin Hart. All right. He's cutting it. He can't read. Hunter Biden. Wait, Hunter Biden is the guy that got like a couple $1 million or whatever for that thing. Isn't he the Ukraine thing, right? He's the guy that had the Ukraine job, right? I'm not a big person of the whole family. So anyway, guys, yeah, the son. Honestly, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him, but he's probably more worth it than Dad is. I love Dad. Those memes were my favorite memes ever from any presidency with any jokes. The Obama-Biden memes about Joe, we can't do that, were the funniest things ever. I absolutely love those. I wish those would come back. I think that those are great. All right, guys, Aussie dollar. Let's dive in. So Aussie dollar, you guys saw that we had a level set up here. And we talked about being close. We popped it. We dropped. We popped it. We went all the way. Today, we blew that thing out. And the reason I left this on the chart is not to show you that the 3-to-1 worked twice. But I showed this to you because, again, what do we talk about day in and day out? Levels are good, but they are not indefinite levels. They don't last forever. And in this case, look, here was your first attempt. There was your second attempt. There was your third attempt. What happened? Number 4 was the one that punched through. Now, it didn't change too much. It went higher. Basically, the same type of level above is the same exact entry. I could take this from here to here and also move it up and do the same exact thing. The same type of level, right? That kind of crappy basing, but large pop, crappy basing, large pop. Same exact thing happened today, and it pulled right back down to the prior level. So it was more or less a textbook setup to the downside. Not only here, but again, this is why we need to focus on levels. And you guys always need to look to the left when you're looking at levels. Why? Because has it been here before? Again, it got front run here, but it made an attempt. It pushed in a little bit, pushed in deeper. So not only did it, this is the third attempt in, but it pushed almost all the way to the end, and then bam, it got busted. And what did it do? It went to the next level of sellers. And again, same zone, drop, basing, pop, drop, basing, pop. And what did it do? Popped up, turned around, and again, I could throw the risk to reward tool up there as well. And you guys can see right there, what did it do? Came right back. So similar type setup. So where we are now, this is an interesting situation where we are. I'll delete this one as well. It's still in the bottom half, but again, be a bit cautious with it. So this zone is probably okay, but at this point, we got to start thinking a little bit above and say, hey, listen, price has been we're getting close to the top of the range. We do have a zone up top. I'd probably shrink this one a bit. I'd kind of shrink it to this level and say, hey, listen, oops. This zone right here, actually, in my eyes, I think is probably a better option. Again, not horrible, but this one would be a little bit better in my eyes. This is coming in at approximately 69.64. And we'll go back up to an hourly because that's what the chart we're using on. And you can see it's the upper half of this. I mean, there's a test of this zone right here. So it's a good test. So you could, if you wanted to be really aggressive, and again, this would have to be in the overnight. You don't want to hold this one too much longer. But again, you'd be able to take it from this zone down or just wait till we get up to 69.64. And that's probably, let me see, it's about 40 pips away. That's probably something in the overnight or before news tomorrow. If we can get up to that zone and you can take this short before the news release comes out, take it Nadex, something like that to limit your risk. It's probably a nice trade to the downside tomorrow. All right. And again, your risk to reward on that one, is set up off the zone. It would be somewhere along these lines, pulling back here down into, this 69.29-ish level. And then 1 to 5 right now, again, we can't see the candles. 1 to 5 is probably a little bit far, but if you wanted to see where that was, that is down here at 69.05. All right, and again, that may get sucked in depending on how big the news is. All right, now what this would take is, again, this would be kind of the market positioning itself for somewhat negative news tomorrow, rallying up, right? And then when the news comes out, the news is good, we get a surprise, and that would give us the dollar strength that we need to punch this back to the downside. So it is kind of setting up a fundamental-wise matching the technicals, and that's always it's always a nice way to do things when you can do it that way. All right. Now, Aussie yen. Also, again, we had some levels set up here. Again, we talked about the 74.80. Again, we popped and we went down. You guys can see we created a new level. This one hits... What time did we hit on this one? Or what time did we enter on this one? This was like I think one... this was actually an 11 o'clock entry. So it got an 11 o'clock entry. It moved about 1.5 to 1. It moved about 35 pips to the downside. We're still currently in it right now. Obviously, stop losses moved to break even. You may have actually taken this one off already at 20 pips, but this one is currently in a short from that same level. This one, again, the way that this one looks, it's broken some levels. It looks like it does want to come back up and test that zone one more time, and the zone is still valid. It's probably good one more entry. Looking a bit higher, we could probably pull another kind of mini level out of this here. Okay. We could also pull a level up here. And again, this would be more for kind of in the overnight or tomorrow morning. All right. That level starts here at 74.90. And again, that is really, it's inside of this hourly zone, but those are pretty big candles in the hourly. So dropping into the 30 minutes gives us a little bit cleaner of this entry, right? This straight up pop came over and then continued to push to the downside. And the risk on that one is not big. The risk on that is only about 19 pips. So that could be another trade setup for tomorrow. And again, remember that the Aussie is open on Friday as well. So we may get some play off that one as well. Okay. I think that's all we have right now. Price is pretty far up. If we're able to crash back down here through 73.43, there is a level there. I don't know that we'll get that much movement. That's a lot. Talking about 110 pips in the overnight plus that news. News would have to be pretty bad tomorrow to get back down that far. I don't think we're going to do it. I think our only trade setup on this one is going to be the 74.90 range up top. So we'll keep that one on the radar for tomorrow. Your yen, here was the trade that we talked about last night. Again, or yesterday, I guess actually yesterday afternoon, right? We ended up popping, came all the way through, we came back. So this level, based off of that reaction, it has hit twice. It did go pretty deep into the zone. It's a little bit riskier of an entry. Just because we punched in, and again, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. We're kind of pushing up there for 4. Overlay. The zone up top here, but it's a bit of ways away. How much we got to move? Yeah, it's about 100 pips away. I don't know if we'll get up there again. This could be an interesting, this could be a small short depending on when we hit. Ideally, I'd like this to hit for the European Open. It's only about 35 pips away, so there may be one more entry into this zone. I don't think we'll get the same push all the way back down. But again, we can already tell based off of the prior entry, the 1 to 3 would be right before turn. So if we do rally up in the overnight in green, again, great entry. I don't like it as much as I liked it last night because, again, it is another hit in. It did move about 90% of the way through. So this zone probably does not have too much left in there. But again, it did form a new zone based off the left side and the right side. That's why the indicator is now marking it off as red. So it kind of does meet the parameters, but looking to the left, it does degrade itself just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. So that may be up there again. 121.34 is where that zone would be. All right, pound yen. So this guy's been on fire. Again, about 60 pips in the last 24 hours. You can see today it really started to kind of pull back a little bit, at least because of the yen. We are pushing up, and we have kind of been turned away from this zone. So there's some interesting setups in this one. And again, on the hourly, you can see that it's not registering anything because looking to the left from where price currently is, there's a lot of kind of just, impulse correction, impulse correction. If I had to pick one, I mean, again, there's one here. This is probably, I'll just do these lines. This is probably the cleanest we have right now, and that's just slightly above where we are. And again, it's kind of been tested here, got front run again, and we're kind of pushing. Let's see. It's about 23 pips to the downside. That's the best one we have, but it is in no man's land, kind of sitting in the middle. And what I mean by that is here's high on the curve, here's low on the curve. This one's smack in the middle. So it's not the ideal situation. And yeah, you can see it on the 4 hour. If here's your areas of sellers, here's your area of buyers down in this lower level. We're sitting right in the middle. So it's an okay entry. If I had nothing else, I'd probably be more willing to take this one. but it looks like we have some other opportunities out there. I'd keep track of it. And again, if we enter the zone, you may be able to take this on a reversal in like some get a confirmation pattern, or if we can get a failure to push any higher. Like if we get a push up, a little bit of a pullback, and then that push, that will give us an established level of risk. And then what it does is it coincides with a higher level time frame. So again, drop this one down to a 15 or a 30 minutes. And again, look for one of those kind of failure to go higher things for a short to the downside is the way that I'm going to play this one. All right. And again, we're looking for failure to go higher in this level on probably a 15 or a 30 minute. Okay. And again, you guys can see there's a small level actually right up there on the top. Let's see. I would say this one's probably fine either. Either one will work. Yeah. So wait for a reversal. And again, if we can bank off that top one and get that failure off there, then yeah, that'd be a great confirmation entry to the downside. And wherever the failure is, that top candle, that's going to be our level of risk. But it'll be no more than 21 pips, 22 pips inside of that short. Again, we would not be taking the whole 21 here, but if we did, this is what it would look like. Right? And again, that 1 to 3 is in a fine place. 1 to 5 probably is not bad as well. Okay, so that's what we'd be pushing. And again, wait for the confirmation before you guys. Just don't jump in blindly. All right, pound dollar. Pound dollar looks very similar as well. Popped, and now on the 30-minute has just been pushing. On an hourly, you can see this one has moved 101 pips in the last 24 hours. Nice movement. Again, we're kind of getting into a little bit of a level here, but we got a bit of ways to run, about 40 more pips until we get up to a zone. This zone is not the first touch. The first touch is actually back here, but it's not bad. It did get pushed about 80% of the way through, so is it the cleanest? No, probably not. But it is a decent level here, again, marked off by the 4-hour, as well as, again, kind of minor level, like right in here, right above it. So there is 2 stacked on top of each other. We can take the indicator version one. That's fine because it's measuring both sides. That entry would come in at approximately right there, 125.15 to the downside. You guys can see it here. And actually on the hourly, go ahead and shorten this one up, make this one a bit smaller, brings it down to about 16 pips worth of risk. Again, that one is going to require about 40 pips in the overnight. Absolutely, without a doubt, can do that, especially with the European news. Remember, the pound is trading on Friday. It does have news. So even if we kind of turn and move around, this is a zone that we got to keep on our radar for Friday morning. So it may be that after the U.S. market closes tomorrow, if we are close and haven't breached this zone, we can take this one for an overnight. Looking for that one to kind of bounce off of Friday morning news. And remember, the currency market is open Friday, so you can still trade all these things. But at 11 o'clock, it's done, right? Because that's when the UK closes. All right, and then we are out. All right, going across the euro pound. So euro pound is continuing to fall. Euro pound is currently right now 61 pips lower than it was at this time last night. As you can see, a bit more sideways movement. Again, we were a little bit up here yesterday. Going to an hourly, you can see, looking to the left, we spent a bunch of time in this zone. I mean, you could draw zones here. There's a bit of a big candle right here. It's not a whole lot of clean to the downside right now. And that's kind of the biggest problem with this one. I don't like this. Dislike that one. Let me see on a lower time frame if it's going to give us a better entry. No, it's not. All right. At this point, I feel like we're going to still have to continue to go, take the short. I just don't see much in here that I'm like, yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that one. That's good. I like that one. It's not there. I really don't see anything. It's like, God, there should be something here, but there's not. We got a bit of ways. Look at this. This whole little racetrack area here right now. And this white box where I was like, hey, I want to see that candle. That's where we're kind of looking to overtake. At this point, I would say let this one roll for the weekend. I wouldn't be looking for longs on this one until 89.46. Maybe there'll be something tomorrow morning, early on, but I don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of this one. I'm not, again, on the 4-hour, you can see we're in a zone right now, but I'm not willing to take this long, especially off of that zone. We've had the pop up in the retrace. Yeah, price has been here before, but now we're basing that level. It's forming sellers right now. So, yeah, I would say I'm bearish. Bearish in the overnight on this one. Looking for a level, and again, when we get a push down, let's see if we can get a clean kind of some type of a clean zone. There's just not a clean zone here. Um, yeah, there's nothing even I can't even pull anything and be like, yeah, that would be a level that maybe. There's not even anything that I like here to the downside. So yeah, wait for this one to come down. Look for 89.46. It's about the best we got going for this one until we get into an area that it's a little bit higher probability. Euro dollar. There we go. Euro dollar's up 17 pips in 24 hours. A lot of this is, again, kind of this drop first and then pop back up again. We were over here last night. We got the level here. Again, it's a very clean rally, base, and drop. Price hasn't been up there. Rather small risk on it. It's not very big. We're currently right now about 30 pips from it. So, I mean, it's definitely something that we could get to for the European Open. It may not be bad for, tomorrow morning as well. Again, this would require dollar strength. It may kind of move there a little bit ahead of time. It's not ideal in that it's not at the highs or the lows. Again, on the 4 hour, you can see we're kind of sitting right in the middle of kind of the curve right now. The 4 hour curve would be sells up here at 113.12. And we'd have buying down here at 111.87. Now, I would be a bit careful with the 187.11. It has only moved about 20% into that 4 hour zone, but you can see it's touched here, touched here, touched here. So we are going through number 4, but we're kind of sitting in no man's land right now, being smack in the middle, right? So again, hourly zone, it was clean. Sellers stepped in, launched this thing to the downside. But safer entries are going to be up here at 113.16, and obviously down here inside of the zone down lower based off the 4 hour. Okay. So that'd be for euro over in the overnight. CAD. Dollar CAD's up 26. So we had levels marked off, as you guys can see from earlier this week. We ended up popping all the way back down. We went across, and again, I marked off this white zone saying, hey, listen, we had some base and we we rode the top, we tested it, and then launched. And again, it's been well. It's done well. Again, we had a failure to go lower. It got an entry. Again, you guys can see that one off of the red. It would be right there. It has hit its 1 to 3. And pull that top section off. You guys can see it right here. It hit its 1 to 3, and it's kind of traveling right along that line right now. In the overnight, this one is going to move tomorrow. This one will definitely have some movement, typically one way or the other. There's a small zone there. That could be a smaller zone that we take, and it's probably marked off on the 30. Actually, the 30 didn't mark it, but the zone's still valid there. Let me see. How many pips are we talking here? About 20 pips. I actually would probably take this one in the overnight. Let's see. Yeah, we're talking about 14 pips. It's a rather small stop zone on that one. That would be when I'd be interested in taking the overnight with the kind of idea that I would be out before news tomorrow, because this will bounce tomorrow. If this is able to just rally and blow through this tonight, this 136.85 would be an area I'd be looking to short off of tomorrow for news. Now, if we're in here and we spike up because of the news to the 136 area, yeah, I'd be looking to take that short. I think that'd be a good one. This would be an overnight only. I would not use this zone for news tomorrow. I would not be trying to, have this be your holding point. The non-farm number is going to be too big. And in reality, we should jump up to a 4 hour. That's 175. We can't get to that zone, so we're gonna have to use the lower time frame. So yeah, so 136.85. I would probably, again, this has been tested a bit farther each time. The 135.80 is probably at risk of failing at this point. And also because it's not the bottom one, I would not use that for a non-farm number. So I would use this 135.02. 136.85, either of those two for non-farm. If we do get a spike into either of those two levels as well, we could obviously see a parabolic retracement off of either of those two. But if you want something in the overnight, be looking for, approximately this 36.14 as an area where we'll be looking for sells in the overnight. And again, keep that risk tiny. Dollar yen. So dollar yen, I'll delete this today, but again, we got our trigger, we got our profit target. At this point, that zone has been blown up, so we can kind of remove it from our analysis. But it did hit for full profit target there. Let's see, what do we got now? Let's go up to a higher time frame. All right, so you guys will see that we had the 108.13 as a sell. We talked about that yesterday. That was basically the trigger today. Ended up. The reason why we don't see anything in this one is because, let's see. I just updated the indicators and I didn't update this one. There we go. All right. So you guys can see that we had a 108.13 as a sell. We ended up getting our entry. It's obviously moved. It's 3-1. So where we are now, I would still probably use the 4-hour on this one. I think the 108 level is another level that we can use. It didn't spend much time. It literally spiked up and shot right back down again. The 106.79 is also a good level. This one will obviously move with non-farm as well tomorrow for a number of different reasons. Right now, again, we're kind of in no man's land if we're using 108.13 and 106.80. We're sitting right in the middle. I don't really necessarily love those in the middle. On an hourly, I wouldn't really, this level is not going to really bug me that much, but this 106, obviously, which is you see on the bigger time frame, that works. That works. So again, go to your 4-hour, look for 108.13, 107.90, or 107.80. Sorry, 106.80, and what do we got? 60. It's got a lot of room to run before tomorrow morning. I don't know that we're gonna make it there on the 4-hour, but again, a spike into either of those two zones would be good for a short or a long. Okay, so keep those marked off. Dollar Swiss, we are still trending sideways. Still doing the sideways thing. Dollar Swiss, we are down only 9 pips from where we were last night. It's not really a big mover. Again, we had this 94.39. You can see we touched the 94.39 again. It did pop. Not great. I mean, we don't really have a ton of movement off this one. Like I said, this one is slow. What I would, and again, you can see this was like straight, a little pop, little drop, and then just straight. So again, this is what this one does. Nothing. Explosion, nothing, and you know, this one will move based off of any type of sanctions. So I'm wondering what the retaliation for the sanctions will look like, or what comments will come back from it. Because again, remember, this is not an economic-based sanction. This is basically because of everything going on in Hong Kong, like human rights. All right, so human rights is kind of what we need to watch out for. In this case. Oh, did I kill the streamer again? Yeah, it looks like, oh, it's back again. So this one is going to be obviously politically charged more than anything else. Non-farm will move it a bit. The unemployment rate will move it a little bit, but this will be more what type of comments come back. You know, it passes the House. What's the Senate going to say? What's it going to look like? What's China's response back? Because nobody likes having sanctions put on them. That's the type of things that will move the dollar Swiss. This upper level, again, we ended up, if you'd taken this in Nadex, you were good. Obviously, you dropped away. We didn't get stopped. Had you taken spot currency, you did get stopped. What I would do now is I'd actually move this a bit higher and use that level that it turned on and kind of move this up into this range. Okay, that is a valid entry. Next time price comes back up here, and that's sitting, again, right around that 95.20. Yeah, it's still sitting up here at 95.20. And again, all I did was move that across. All right. Downside, let's see. I'd probably shrink this one again. I think this 94.40 is probably still valid. Somewhere, let me see. Probably in here. You know what? Let's just go more conservative. We'll go a little bit more conservative. Yeah, that's what we'll use. So we're gonna remove this. Fortunately, that's still not a bad. It's not a bad entry. All right, maybe we'll go a little bit more aggressive. We'll go a little bit higher, even though there's a level sitting right there. Nope, not what I wanted to do. We'll just shrink this up. You guys will be able to see in a second. There we go. All right, so it's gonna let me make it. All right, so 94.40 and 95.21 would be our two levels in that one, top and bottom. All right, NQ. All right, so as you guys can see, look, the world is ending. Okay, now this is another one of those things that I wanted to make sure that we kept on here. So look at this. There's your 1, there's your 2, there's your 3 hit, and number 4 is what broke. And what did it do? It rode along the top, pulled back down and used that same level, and that's what its takeoff point was. So we're obviously very high right now in the NQ. And again, I think we had a level marked off in here, and we did go slightly above it. This is that failure to go higher that we're looking for, right? So I can pull this level off. I can pull this off as, you know, a potential kind of And again, remember the numbers off on this one, but again, we'd have a profit target. You know what? I'll just pull this off. We'll go here. Small, go dotted, go dark green. So there's an area with our potential profit target for any type of shorts. Looking for a fair to go higher. Again, we don't have one right now. This would be most likely tomorrow morning. Yeah, we need something better than this. This is not a good example of a failure to go higher top. So again, what we're looking for here, I'll go back and see if I can find one. Whoops. Let's see. Hourly is what I was looking for. Something like this, right? And that's not even the best example. Again, remember, looking for a new high, a pullback, and then the retrace. Tags the zone, doesn't go as far. This is what we're looking for. Okay? And again, the way you draw it is you're going to take this, go right there. Oops. Right there. Drop below, pull back. There's your level of risk. Take that short. And that's what we're looking for right now for over here. Okay. We obviously don't have that right now. We'd like to see a push up. We'd like to get something like this. And again, this one, it's already left the area too much. So again, it's no longer valid. But we're looking for failure to go higher in the NQ. Okay. Again, you can see it's just all the way up, right? All the way up. And the crazy thing is, the economy is just reopening. Look how high we are right now. And the economy is just starting to come back. Like, imagine what this is going to do by like October, November, like how high this has the power to be, right? Because remember, earnings suck right now. We're in a great environment. They're not talking about raising rates for at least another year. We get all these months of more. I mean, it's very, very hard to be like, hey, listen, I'm bearish. But in the near term, that's what we should be looking for. There's not even really any good kind of additional targets. But wait for what we're looking for is the pullback into a zone to go higher. But again, right now, if it's keeping pushing, let's look for a failure to go higher, play the retracement move down, get your money, reverse it, and then take it long for another push higher. Okay, that's where I think NQ is going to move. S&P. S&P is in a little bit different of a scenario. Obviously, it's not as high. It's still got some room to run. On an hourly basis, so again, we had a zone here, and we talked about this. Again, there's your 1. You could say this is 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, break, right? And then kind of pulled back through. So this one, we had a level up here. We didn't get to it. We got pretty close. I think this on a 30-minute, we had that one marked off. Let me see. No. I think this one has moved on us. Yeah, it's marked off. It's here. Right? And you can see we just missed it. So I mean, there was no entry. No entry in that one. Pulled the downside. I think that zone, and remember, this is off by about 6 because of ECN-based data. I think that zone, again, go to the left, guys. Look for this pattern right here, this kind of push, failure, and drop. That zone's still valid. I think if we're able to get up there by tomorrow morning, I think this is signaling that the market's ready for a short. Again, after the day that the NQ had, this one has obviously been pushing down. Wasn't horrible, but I think this would obviously push back down. And for me, a profit target on a short, it's going to be over here around 30.80 to the downside, kind of where this takeoff is. So I can delete this. Oh, it's fine. I can. There we go. Somewhere around there. And that's where I'm looking for this thing to pull down to. So it would be, I mean, it's quite a big thing, but basically looking for this. Here's your 1. Here is your second profit target, which I also think is in a great place. And again, that gets you out right here where the last where the last big kind of push happened. Okay, so there's your, whoops. I just wanted to unclick it along those lines. And again, we got to see what it looks like at the top. But that's basically what I was looking for. Profit target 1, profit target 2 to the downside with a push of that. Okay, Dow. So Dow had the same thing. Here was a level. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And there's number 4, punching right through the top. Again, there was your entry. We missed the second entry. This one had a couple different opportunities. So I'm going to delete it now to clear from the board. Okay. Now what we're looking into. Okay, let's go back up to the hourly. You can see this one had a bit of a zone. Actually, there's a wick over a wick right there. Whoops. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Where is it? Let's pull this back in. There we go. So that was the position today. And again, it was a retested wick over wick. Great little trade setup. Obviously, huge movement off of that one earlier today. I think somebody in the Discord channel ended up taking that one. I don't remember who it was, but I thought I saw somebody take it. There are levels above. So this one, if we can push back up again, I probably wouldn't take this same zone again. Again, it hit here, went higher. It's about 60-70% of the way through. It is a bit riskier to take another time for a short. And actually, this wouldn't be a green. This would be a... change this to a red. Right? Oh, wait, hold on. I can't stand that color. That's tomato. Oh, no, this one is light salmon. It's the pink. There we go. Yeah, tomato and light salmon are funky colors on this one. But again, we talked about getting shorts up in that area. And again, I drew this lower because that's approximately where the number is. Again, the ECN data is about 100 points off here. But again, zone was good, dropped, tested. You guys should have had that set up from yesterday afternoon. Where we are now, again, looking to the left for any type of a long scenario, there is a level that the indicator is marking off, but looking to the left, there's a level here, a level here, a level here, and it starts back over here and here. So there's actually a decent amount of buyers below. Again, I could start by saying here. I could start by saying, hey, listen, here's your first zone, and look, it was retested. Yep, got front run here, but then there's a level here. This one bounced off of that. This one bounced off of that and went higher. This one bounced off of this and went higher. So there's a few different areas of buyers below. I feel of the three indices, this one is stabilized the most from the downside move. We'll see if we can get a pop out of this one in the overnight. The other two look like they could be moving that direction as well. But I probably would be very cautious about taking this zone again. I'd use this zone up top, and that zone's price is about here, even though the zone is coming up here again. Remember, my data is off a little bit. You're going to be looking at this formation where it drops, bounces, and then pushes pretty deep out of it. And the number will be about 26,127. Don't take it. Again, make sure you verify it. If I put it up here, this is about 100 points higher than where you guys are actually going to be. All right, your number is going to be about there. All right. But yeah, be cautious. I wouldn't probably not take this one a second time. All right. All right. So let's go over to gold. Wait, what happened? Why is gold going down? I love this one. So gold had a failure to go higher. It's not the best failure to go higher example. Again, it did push below. You guys could have drawn this one, based off of that level. Typically, we like to see a little bit more of a push down. And again, this one came pretty close up. It's pushed down, and things that we need to focus on this one. Not knockouts. Supply and demand. Put my colors back on. Boom. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, everything's set now. All right, so for me, again, you guys can see that I drew that thing at the top. I'll take the pink off. You can see that these are where our levels currently are. And again, the prices are slightly off because the futures data and the ECN data is slightly different. But I have buying and selling over here at 1786 and then 1752. Either of those levels are fine, I think. Again, we're sitting right in the middle, so it's kind of that no man's land section. We need to go either up or down. There's nothing really great here. We talked about retaking this kind of racetrack here, and it did. It pushed about 50% of the way before pulling back up again. But again, it was in kind of its own kind of free fall at the time. So I would say looking at it right now, it's more consolidating. You can see that the highs are coming down. The lows are getting a bit higher. So again, you're getting kind of that arrow shape in there. This one is obviously waiting for non-farm tomorrow. We'll see what the overnight looks like. An easy way to play this one, too, is look at your 30 minutes and then about a half hour before. Again, that news release is at 8:30 tomorrow. You guys can see it right here. All that is coming in at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Yeah, we got to bit the move. Unfortunately, got to bit the move. You can see right now, as far as this data goes, we're sitting right here. So we need to go $20 up or $20 down before we're in buy and sell range. So hopefully in the overnight, it can put its work in. It can do what it's supposed to do, and we'll get a trade set up off on that one tomorrow morning. Looking at silver. So silver, okay, you guys can see right here we had this 1836 or 1832. I will pull. Oops, right there. That was the level. Look at this. Look how close that level was. It went just above. And again, we were talking about trading this in Nadex, not necessarily in the futures market. So as far as a Nadex trade goes, guys, we ended up bouncing right off the level and pulled right back down again. And again, that's why Nadex has some advantages over traditional futures, is the fact that your stop losses, it's whatever you got into the, whatever you took you to get into the trade is what your risk level is. If it goes slightly higher than where your zone is, there's no such thing as a stop loss. It's already inherent and you can't get taken out of the trade. There's your pullback down again. So I would say that that level is probably not good for one more hit. It was good for a Nadex trade base today over the last 4 hours. Besides that, you're going to have to go a bit higher at this point, especially for something like non-farm. At this point, I would really kind of put it here and here. I'd be looking for kind of buying and selling again. Remember, we do have a Harry Potter trade set up down here at 1731. But 1734, there is a zone. It has been tested. It could go higher. But same scenario as gold. It needs to move up or down. We're kind of sitting right in the middle. There is a little bit of a level of basing right now. But silver is not as big of a reactionary move for non-farm. Gold, yes, because again, it deals with inflation and the economy and interest rates. Silver kind of follows, so it will get some movement, but I think there's much better options out there tomorrow to trade. If you're going to get movement down in either of these two, I think trading it in gold would be a better option. Whether it goes down or up is really going to be, depends on what happens in the overnight, the European market, and then we'll see how it folds into non-farm. All right, let's go across and let's see, where do I have it? Trading view, is it this one? There we go. All right, so here's that oil trade that I talked about from yesterday afternoon and Tuesday. I told you guys that we had a zone in there right around 40.28 to 40.54, and as you guys can see, price came right up into that level and dropped all the way. There was your 3-to-1. All right, so level was good. I drew the timing. I missed it by a few. I missed it by 5 bars, but remember, we were drawing it over here earlier in the day. So it was good. I ended up doing it in the overnight. Actually, it was interesting. I got an email from someone asking about the setup. They're like, okay, so you put it in there. What should I use? I was like, well, knockouts work for it. You can use binaries for it, based off of news. And then it ended up doing the entire move in the overnight. So again, okay, take it. Wake up, already at profit. There's no problems with that. After that, it just kind of chopped back and forth. It really didn't do that much. This is one of those ones that today kind of got, I would say, lost. You have unemployment not being as good, which lowers demand. But then you have manufacturing, which is good, which increases demand. And then, you had the actual, the number that it came in, which, again, that number was -7. And you would say, hey, listen, -7, this should be crazy. This thing should go nuts. But there was no reaction. Okay? There was no reaction. Because, again, it was a huge miss today and nothing. Chop. Obviously, chop. But even that chop was rather small. It was less than $1 worth of chop back and forth. Because, again, the move had already happened in the overnight. Okay? And, again, that's what happens. And for me, that's a disqualifier typically for the oil news. If all the movement happens in the overnight and your trade setup triggered early, you already got your money from it. Walk away. All right? Walk away. So, but the people seeing the -7 were like, yeah, I'm trading this one. Guess what? Didn't work out well for you. It just chopped back and forth in the same exact place as you were earlier. So, not much you can do. So, as far as oil goes, bringing it up to an hourly gives you a little bit better of an idea. And again, still a valid zone. Again, there's going to be another small zone up in there. So again, 40.30 to 40.50, that little 20-cent range. You got to think that price is going to turn away. I mean, it spiked quick and then retraced very, very fast. That type of movement, you got to expect to see it. Sanctions against China, depending on what they are, will also potentially hurt demand. Well, it could hurt it or help it, depending. But at this point, as far as finding downside, I mean, listen, prices are spiking down into this lower level. So you do have to kind of keep your eye and say, hey, listen, there's something going on down here as well. So we need to be cautious about that. If for some reason it drops down to the 39.10 area, which is about 50 cents lower, it's an area where buyers have stepped in. We've seen buyers step in right here. Right here, I'll make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. I forgot that this one's a little small, right? We've seen buyers step in right here. So you got to think, hey, listen, if price gets forced down there, we got to be thinking that there's going to be some potential longs off that zone. And again, that would be buying down at 39.10 up into the probably 39.70 or 80 range. And again, oil, it will continue to trade. Prices will move around a bit more. So, yeah, that's oil. Like I said, another one of those trades that were kind of in the middle between buyers and sellers. Got to wait till it goes to top or bottom, guys. There's no point in trying to pick a crystal ball. Wait till it comes to you. If this, then that trading is the best way to do it. All right. All right. Got on the upside alert. and exit before downturn. Ah, it's good, James. So you got it. You got it here, James. This, or you were talking about it over here. So you got it. You got it over here. This pop. There was a couple of small. I mean, there was a couple of smaller trades in this one, without a doubt. There's this guy right here. Here's another one. There's that one. Yeah, last night. Is this the one you got into? Because again, there was this. Oh, I can do it over here. There was that guy. Oops. There's that guy. And there was this guy. Yep, the green one. This one. Yeah. Yeah. So again, if you're staying up late, yeah, there's definitely been some opportunity. And the individual that wrote me, I'm not going to say her name, but I told her, I was like, listen, the best way to play these literally has been on the lower time frames. Looking for the very clean, easy to see areas, looking for the big pops, has really been the best. You know, I'm all about looking, charts are charts. You can look at the big ones, but really most of the setups have been on. I mean, look at this. Look, I mean, prices here at 39.67. You go all the way back, we're still at 39.67 over here. So a little bit of down, a little bit up, a little bit of down, a little bit above, a little bit up. At this red line, where this red line is where current price is. Look, it spent time here, flirting with it here, popped above it, popped below it, came back. Flirting with it, again, popped over here, and then here we chop right through it, we're in the same spot. So it's really into that kind of like 39.60, amount. Trying to look at a larger time frame, playing this up and down, it's just not moving enough. You're talking about less than $1 range here that it's been moving. But the 30-minute charts for oil have just been great. I mean, again, we missed by 7 million barrels today. Well, 6 million barrels. Because it was supposed to be -9, it came in at -7. Right? So we missed by 6 million barrels. And yet, what was the reaction? Chop back and forth. Inside of a 60-cent range. Normally, for a miss like that big of a miss, normally should have moved the $1.50 is what it should have done. And it didn't. So, again, got to keep it low. All right, guys, so that's the last one. I will go ahead and pull up the contest. Let's see. We got 5 people in. Not many people on tonight with putting tickets in. Like I said, Sean won the last one. He's over here with 1 ticket. James is not in yet. Ernest is not in yet. I don't know if I've seen Q-Type. I had to refresh the screen. But remember, everybody that's on the stream tonight, you are eligible to get 1 ticket at least for free. And that's all you have to do is hit !ticket to be able to get in. What it does is it gets you pip chips. You can do mentoring. You can get some indicators that I have up there. I don't have any classes currently up there or not currently. But again, mentoring, indicators, we can talk about whatever you want. Analyze charts, strategies, risk management, market psychology, anything you want, we can go through and go through it. All right, so what I would do is I will give you guys about 1 more minute at 104. At 104.00, I will close it down. So about 45 more seconds. That should accommodate the lag. And we'll go from there. See, and again, remember, guys, Sean won yesterday. So there's only 4. There was that afternoon session I know throws you guys off. But Sean won. So if Sean wins again, he gets an extra 100 pip chips tonight. So we will see. Debbie's trying to bring down Sean. Yeah, I know, right? But I don't think it was Sean that beat Debbie, right? Wasn't it Q that beat Debbie? I feel like it was Q. I feel like Debbie's anger is aimed at the wrong individual. Yeah, it was Q. Everyone's like, it was Q. It was Q. Yeah. But at the same time, there I said I would close it at 104. At the same time, we can get on Debbie. Remember, Debbie could have won 500 pip chips, right? 500 is how many she could have won. And she only bought like 4 tickets. Right? If they're 10 pip chips a piece, she could have dropped 10 tickets in and it would cost her 100. Right? She was standing to make 5. You guys ever heard like, play with the house's money? She was playing with the house's money and she still only went like 5. So you got to talk to your girl. You guys out there, you got to teach her about, pip chip management. She could have dropped 100 down, an extra 10 tickets, increased her percentage to like 33%. Remember, it's all about the odds. All right. With that said, guys, let me do the drawing. Sean won yesterday. Today's winner is... Ooh. Look at Sean sneaking in with the back-to-back with the 1 ticket. Wow. So, there is man, How the heck did we go for 6 months with no double winners? And this is the third double winner we've had now in 3 weeks. Wow. I am shocked. I thought Debbie was going to win tonight. In all fairness, I thought Debbie was going to win tonight. But wow. Look at that. Sean gets the extra 100. So where is Sean? Sean, did you spend a lot of chips? Where the heck are you at? Oh, right there. Bring him back up. There we go. Coming back. Ernest, you better check your code. How do we earn or get pip chips? All right, great question, Triton. So basically, by watching the channel, and actually I can go right here to the loyalty settings. Where are they? Loyalty settings. So everybody can see them. See, there's no difference. So when you subscribe to the channel, you get pip chips at twice the rate. Okay, what it is when you view, you get 1 pip chip for every 10 minutes. Subscribers get 2 pip chips every 10 minutes. So you're able to accumulate them this way. And then I do a drawing every single night where, again, the drawings look like this. Here's the giveaway. Okay, and you can see, I'll copy it over. Basically, everybody gets their first ticket for free. So you do exclamation point ticket. It doesn't cost you any pip chips. It's absolutely free. After that, you can get 10. But the maximum you can have is only 10 is 10 tickets in. That way, like, Debbie couldn't have dropped, like, all 500 pip chips. The guarantee of victory doesn't work that way. The most you can get is 10, right? The most. That way it keeps it fair to everybody else. But that's the way you accumulate them. So there's been some questions as well. You know, how does it work with the Nadex presentations? Because I dual stream. I don't talk on Twitch, but I do dual stream during that time. Basically, if the channel is live and you are watching it, you accumulate pip chips. You don't have to type. You don't have to do anything else. You accumulate them. I do the contest for the Nadex sessions. I typically will draw the winner after I'm done with Nadex because like I said, I don't necessarily talk through Twitch. I'm rebroadcasting my screen, but you still accumulate them, guys. So anytime you're watching the channel, you guys get your pip chips. But good question, Triton. That's how you get them. Like I said, it's just channel currency. There's no value for it. When I go back, you can look at where is it? The stream store. Currently, right now, for 100 pip chips, I give out the spread indicator and the close. You guys will see in the upper right hand corner of my charts. One on the left, it'll tell you ATR and pips. That's not something you normally see in MT4, and that's in here. And then I also want to know how much time is left remaining in the candle. Depending on what your time zone is, it's always helpful to know, hey, listen, there's 10 minutes left in this candle. Well, I want to know. And then also I do 30-minute mentor sessions for 500 pip chips. I typically go longer than, for those you guys know that I do these. I tend to go longer. I go like 45 minutes sometimes. I go to an hour. I try to do 30, but I'm always talking about something else. Or we go deeper into it, and the next thing I look over, it's like, oh, it's been an hour. We can talk about anything you want. It could be your strategy. It could be my strategy. It could be market psychology, market analysis. I could look at your portfolio. I can, again, I can't give one-on-one recommendations. It's all in the light of education, but I can tell you what my opinions are, where I think things are going to move. So that's entirely fine as well. Yeah, my mentoring sessions are both 1 hour, definitely worth it. Yeah, Gallo, I end up going long, but like I said, I'm always one of those people that I like want to underpromise and overdeliver. So I always want to make sure that you guys get more out of it than what you thought you were going to get. That's just the way that I do it. The Bitcoin of forex. Yeah, kind of. But you don't earn it by, using it up. So yeah, I try to do as much as I can with that. All right. Oh, by the way, guys, he's not on tonight, but I wanted to draw something. So remember our gentleman that was following Carnival? So I've been following Carnival as well. Right? Let's get a session and talk Biden. Oh, we could do that, Ernest. We can do that. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get some alcohol for that one. He's not on tonight, guys, but our buddy, and I forget what his name is, and I do apologize if you are on, but I didn't see a type today. He kept asking about Carnival. Remember, I was like, listen, it's bouncing around, it's going. Check out Carnival. Remember the zone here we talked about? FYI, 1, 2, 3, break, right? Here you go, 1, 2, this one popped away. Here is a basing level, boom, gap below. And again, we thought it was going to break anyway. What did it do? It formed an area of demand, came across, and kind of got stuck here at supply. Bounced, came back up, and grabbed the gap up top. So he was following Carnival. Carnival is turning into an example of how to play supply and demand. But I'm keeping this. This one keeps saving, right? It knows who I am, so it's saving and keeps following. So I'm waiting for him to come back. But yeah, when he comes back, I'm big. Hey man, listen, I told you. Look, it bounced. Told you on 4, you got to be careful. If it touches here again, you're in trouble. And it did. It went right through. Check that out. All right. with that being said, guys, I'm out of here for tonight. Tomorrow, don't forget, tomorrow we're going to do one at... Tomorrow is at noon. Okay? So tomorrow at noon, we will jump on. We'll be able to kind of digest where things are. Actually, I'm sorry. Never mind. Tomorrow is the non-farm thing. Maybe I'll try to do an 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll jump on and see if we can get some pre-market analysis at 8. If I can get up, and obviously I'm clear with the baby and everything like that. Like I said, I love trading non-farm, and it's very hard to broadcast and do my own trading account at the same exact time. So if I can get everything set up early enough, I will jump on and do a quick analysis tomorrow morning. If not, tomorrow is obviously the last day that the market is more or less open. Again, Friday, yeah, some things are open, but it's kind of funky with kind of limited trading hours, and I typically will not trade on those days. Maybe something early in the morning, but that's about it. Otherwise, we'll resume back on next week. And next Monday, because it's a holiday weekend, right now I am shooting for 8 a.m. Monday morning to do a chart school. I'm going to try to start kind of mixing up a little bit more with the mornings and the nights and stuff like that. But right now I'm looking at Monday at 8 a.m. is the next guaranteed one. All right. So with that said, guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a good week, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.